Everybody and welcome. We've got a full house of cheering fans, including Earl B, the home team's biggest fan.
Earl B, he's our man. Earl B, the home team's biggest fan.
On a brisk Monday evening here at George Daniels Stadium, it's Monday, October 15th, 2001. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ron Bacalar, along with my partner tonight for a boys soccer match, Neil Summers. And we welcome Neil to the program, and of course our producer and director, Joe Bach, who also mans the camera. And I have to say in all sincerity, this is a sectional soccer match between Lorain Admiral King High School and Lorain Southview High School. Another first on TV 20, bringing you boys soccer, and soon you'll also see on TV 20 girls soccer between the Lady Admirals and the Lady Saints. But Neil, I am so blessed to have you here this evening. As I've indicated so often, my being here makes me feel like the epitome of Peter's principle, rising to the height of my incompetence. The only thing I know, and this is true confessions, the only thing I know about soccer, whether it be boys or girls, is that the person in front of the net is called a goalie. That is the extent of my knowledge. You gave me a rule book here to look at, and I spent about 3 hours going through the first 7 pages, and I said, ain't gonna happen. Here's my man. He's going to carry me tonight. So Neil, welcome aboard. These two teams for this season are meeting for the third time. In the regular soccer season, the Admirals defeated the Saints in the first match 2-0, and then
just the reverse there. You gotta get there. Yep. The Saints beat the Admirals, right?
Ah, the Saints beat the Admirals 2-0, and then they tied.
That's correct.
2-2. How do you see this match coming down?
This ought to be a very good match. Unfortunately for Southview, they lost one of their major players with David McCartney to an eye injury, so he's out for the Saints. However, for the Admirals, the big deal there is young Vincic is recovered from a foot injury, and he's back into play now. In fact, he kicked a penalty kick to tie that ball game the other day at 2-2. So we ought to see some pretty good action here tonight.
And what makes Neil such an authority on soccer? Well, he's an official, for one thing, and you can't get any finer than that. Plus, your boys played soccer, and you've been involved in the game of soccer for how many years now?
It's been 20 years now that I've been involved in the game, refereeing about 9 to 10, and as a coach for about the better part about 15 years. So all 5 of my kids were in the game of soccer and played at Lorain High or Admiral King, and went on to college, and some of them even played there.
Wow. Normally at this point in time, Neil, I would say, and we'll be back with the opening kickoff to start this football game right after this timeout. What do we say in a soccer match? Is it a kickoff?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. A referee will blow the whistle, and they'll approach, and the game will be on the way.
See, I'm learning already. We'll be back with the opening kickoff of this sectional boys soccer match between Admiral King and Southview right after this timeout.
Nearly 750,000 remarkable individuals serving their country, and they all believe they have the best job in the world. Join us, America's Air Force. No one comes close.
Mom, Dad,
I snuck out. You caught me.
Invaded my privacy.
I hated it.
I hated you.
I thought you were the worst parents in the world.
Thanks.
Well, the players are all set on the soccer field. Normally, George Daniels Stadium for football turned into a soccer field by Kenny Clark and his crew, and we're underway on this soccer match. We might point out, nice save by the goalie there. And I do believe the south end of this soccer field is being guarded by Southview. The Admirals are guarding the north goal. So here comes Southview. Southview on the attack. And a save. The Brian DeBrazen on that attempted goal. Looking at the starters out there on the field for the Southview Saints, they're in the white jerseys with the light blue shorts. The goalie is Damian Aponte. The sweeper, number 10, is Billy Setak. Number 6 is the right back, Walter Levenhagen. Number 13 is the cornerback or center back, Eric Levis. Number 5 is the left back, Cielo Crespo. Number 8 is the right halfback, Joel Vasquez. Number 1 is the center halfback, Josh Fossey. Number 3 is the left halfback, James Roman. Number 14 is the right wing, Andy Arredondo. Number 4 is the center forward, Brian DeBrazen. And number 9 is the left wing, Mark Fazekas. That's the starting players out there for the Southview Saints. For the Admiral King Admirals, the goalie is Chris Shaw. Also out is the left halfback, number 4, Jason Amato, a 9th grader. Number 5 is the right halfback, James Carter, an 11th grader. Number 7 is the right forward, Rocky Ferrero, a 9th grader. Number 8 is the left forward, Derek Smith, a 10th grader. Number 9 is the sweeper, Andrew Matos, a 10th grader. Number 10 is the center halfback, Matt Vinsek, a 10th grader. Number 11 is the center forward and captain, Gareth Hannigan, a 10th grader, and a name that you hear here at George Daniel Stadium on Friday nights when the Admirals are playing football. Gareth Hannigan is the kickoff person and the extra point man and field goal man for Bill Jones' Admiral King football team. Number 14 is the stopper or center back on defense, Hainer Rodriguez. Number 16 is the left fullback, Andrew Zilka. And number 17 is the right fullback, Ben Gradisek. So there you have the starting players. 11 players on each side, just like on a football team.
How about that?
How about that? Yes, indeed.
Saints are going to be taking a corner kick here. And now we'll have a goal kick.
Since that ball went out of bounds, then the goalie gets to kick it out.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, in this case, the goalie did not kick it out. It was instead Jason Amato. Brian DeBrazen had the ball taken away from him momentarily there, and it goes out of bounds.
There's no offsides on a throw-in, so so it's that was a good play. Now we're going to have a throw-in for the Saints.
Now the players and the way they're positioned, Neil, we talked about the various names for these players. On a football team, we have a center, a couple of guards, a couple of tackles, a couple of ends, a quarterback, et cetera, et cetera. What are the purposes of the various players? For example, the left halfback and the right halfback.
Okay, well, your halfbacks are your front line fellows. You have we call them strikers, they call them halfbacks. Then you have your midfielders, fellows that play in the center of the field. Then back near your keeper, where you were mentioning earlier, a sweeper, you have sweepers and fullbacks, and their job is to defend the goal, and they do a lot of running up and down the field. When the Saints come down, they're trying to keep them. When the Admirals are attacking, then they're going to move to the center of the field and try and support their players.
We had indicated at the top of the program that when these two teams met the first time around, Southview victorious over Admiral King 2-0, and then when they met the second time in the season, they ended in a 2-2 tie. In soccer, is there ever a tiebreaker?
There would be now that you're in the tournaments, but during the normal course of the season, they just play to a tie. The Ohio High School Athletic Association does not have a tiebreaker rule for the normal season. But once you get into tournament play, someone has to advance. So it's just like football with their overtimes, except that during the normal course of the season, we don't do that.
Now, in figuring standings, if you are involved in a conference, for example, do you get X number of points for a win versus something less for a tie?
Yes, more than likely you would. You would get, in most conferences that you have, you'd have some type of a point system there that you get for a win, and a tie pretty much goes as a 0-0. You get caught up in all this action here up and down the field there. Boys are moving the ball pretty well.
We have 3 officials in this particular contest. One in the center, Mark Del Coro, and then there are 2 officials on either side of the field. I noticed that the ones on either side of the field, that's all they do is go up and down the side of the field. They don't actually get into the field of play.
No, their primary responsibilities are watch for the ball coming in and out of play on the touch lines. They raise the flag and indicate that it's out, in which way I see he'll put his flag up on the far side there when they kicked it out and point a direction showing that the ball is in favor of Southview. Their other job is to watch as he gets down near the corner. He'll watch the line by the net is the goal line, and he'll watch and he'll signal when the ball is out of play and indicate whether it's a goal kick or whether there's a corner kick.
Andrew Mados for Admiral King, kicking it over to the far side, now being put back into play.
A dangerous play there. He kicked with the young man's head down near the ball. Excellent ball, excellent ball.
And the goal is wide open and into the net. And that one put in by the Admiral's Rocky Ferrero, a 9th grader, playing right forward for the Admirals.
That was a beautiful play. That started from way back here on the long kick, on the free kick. There he just laid it long and they ran up on it. So excellent play for the Admirals.
With 31-48 in the first half, and that's something also quite different from a football or a basketball game where they play 4 quarters. In soccer, they play just 2 halves, and each half is 40 minutes in length. I read the rule book.
That's
Good. And primarily there is very little, if any, stopping of the clock.
That's correct. They stop it after a score, or if someone's injured, or if they're going to administer a card for a major infraction of some sort. There's some excellent balls being skilled play out there with the passing of the ball.
Admirals almost had the opportunity to put another point on the board. Good save in there by Southview's goalie, Damian Aponte. Both the coaches for Southview and for Admiral King for Southview, the head coach is Gene Burgess, assisted by Bill Bogan. The head coach for the Admirals is Butch, and I'm going to work on this one for a moment, Ilieski.
That's correct.
And his assistants are Bob Kimeski and Mark Spiroff. How did I do on that?
You did excellent.
Oh, my.
I think Butch played at, I'm not sure, I think he played at Southview, if I'm not mistaken. He was a Southview player.
Oh.
So he's very familiar with Gene and Butch and Bobby. They've been around for several years now.
Well, both the coaches provided us with some player profiles that we would like to draw to your attention as you watch the action on the field, and I've instructed Neil anytime something significant takes place He's to give me a little poke, and we'll pause, and he can comment on just exactly what's happening. Now we had, what is that, a free kick we
That was
just
a free
had
kick,
there?
yes.
And what brings about a free kick?
Free kick will happen if there's an offsides or if there's been a foul of some sort on a play. There's a chance to tie it. Oop.
And the ball picked up by the goalie, Chris Shaw. Brings it out into play. Now, the goalie is the only one permitted on the field of play to be able to touch the ball with his hands,
That's correct. Absolutely.
The other players can either kick it or use any body part, including the head, but not the hands.
That's correct.
What about elbows or shoulders?
There it goes.
We were asking, someone down in the stands was wondering why there wasn't a point on the scoreboard for the Admirals, and
that has been rectified.
So that has, as you indicated, that has been rectified. But we were saying, the players on the field, with the exception of the goalie, can they use any part of from the shoulder down? Could they use an elbow?
No, if they move the hand out to guide the ball, that's what was referred to as handling of the ball, or people like to yell handball, but that's the official term is handling of the ball, and that's from the shoulder down to the arm, to the hand.
Now, the player out of bounds threw the ball in with his hands. That was permitted simply because he was not on the actual field of play.
That's right. That's a throw-in.
Okay. Now,
must come directly over his head in one forward motion.
Does he have an option of throwing it in or kicking it in?
No, he must throw it in.
He must throw it. Okay. Southview's attack momentarily stymied there by the Admirals. All right, looking at some of these player profiles for the Southview Saints, number 1, a junior, Josh Fossey, is a 3-year starter, plays midfield, captain for the Saints for the past 2 years. Coach Burgess says he's a key player in offense and defensive transition. Plus, he has been selected to first team all Lorain County. The goalie is minus a number, just plain 0, a senior. Damian Aponte is a 4-year starter at the goal, 3-year captain. First team all Lorain County, second team all Lorain County twice, and first team Great Lakes League, and a member of Lorain Southview's Key Club. Number 10 is a senior. He's a big new Sitak, but he prefers to be called Billy Sitak. Is a 3-year starter on defense, a 1-year captain, a first team all Lorain County selection. Last chance to stop the attack on the goal. That's his primary position on the soccer team. Number 6 for Southview is a junior. His name is Walter Levenhagen. He is a 2nd-year starter at defense, a key player on the right side of the field, also a member of Southview's Key Club, and is working on being an Eagle Scout, getting all those credentials. Number 2 for Southview is a junior. Joe Kowalczyk is a 1st-year starter, a midfieldman, defense, and will be most improved player from last year. So he really turned his game around and is a member of the Key Club and also a member of the Southview High School Marching Saints Band. Coming down the field, Andy Arredondo, ball taken away. Stepping up to the point is Eric Levis for Southview. I kind of sense from the reaction of the fans here at George Daniel, when that ball gets kicked back and forth, this is where the excitement comes in.
That's correct. It's been quite exciting. They've been changing the ball back and forth here.
Goalie Chris Shaw coming out from the net to grab that ball and get it back into the middle of the field. Continuing with our player profiles, number 5 for Southview is a senior, Cielo Crespo, a second-year starter, plays defense. He anchors the left side of the field and is an honorable mention All-Lorain County boys soccer. Number 8 is a junior, Joel Vasquez. He is a first-year starter, a midfieldman, good skills with the right and the left feet, so foot-wise, I guess we might say he's ambidextrous.
Correct.
There is such a thing. And he too is a member of the Key Club and the Southview Saints Marching Band. Number 3 is a senior, Adam Roman. He is a second-year starter, a midfieldman, honorable mention, Lorain County. He's a member of the Key Club and a member of the band. Number 9 is a sophomore, Mark Fazekas, a first-year starter, plays left wing. He's a transfer student from Open Door Christian Academy this year, and he brings good foot skills and speed up front. He plays hockey for the Junior Barons.
There's a nice breakaway there, possibly, Ron, as they let me interrupt you here for a second.
That's
as
fine.
The Admirals come, and they're moving the ball very nice from the outside wings to the center of the field.
The kick on goal by the Admirals was Luis Ramos, a 10th grader, now in the lineup for the Admirals.
Ricocheted off the Admirals.
Off of Luis Ramos.
So we'll have a throw in for the Saints. Got some fresh bodies in there now, Ron.
Now I notice even in the substitution there, the clock does continue to run.
That's correct.
And we're almost at the midway point of this first half with 22 minutes and 25 seconds remaining. The Admirals are leading in this sectional soccer match 1-0. You know, Neil, I can't help but wonder, with all the kicking going on and the players getting so close and uptight to each other, some of those legs have got to take some good kicks.
Oh yeah, yeah. They wear shin guards on to help protect their shins, but occasionally you catch a whack down at the ankles. There's a nice shot.
Wide of goal. I do believe that one was kicked by Brian DeBrazen. On the far side, number 4, correct. Brian DeBrazen.
Yeah. There's a push in the back, so the Saints will take possession of the ball and have a free kick. The defensive player must be, you can see that he's 10 yards away from the ball. It must be 10 yards away from a ball on a kick. It's a nice kick. Beautiful ball.
Great. And grabbed midair by Chris Shaw, the Admiral King goalie. Puts it out to the midfield. Jason Amato now hands it off to his teammate, Gareth Hannigan. Hannigan will put it into play.
Oh, that was a nice move by Fossey. Nice cross. Very nice. This ought to be dangerous. Good defensive play by the Admirals. And a wonderful attack by the Saints. That was a real nice ball movement. They started on the far side. It ended up over here close to us.
That defensive move was by number 9, Andrew Matos, the sweeper. appropriate name for somebody who swept the ball out of bounds.
Absolutely. That's a very tough position. They're all over the field.
Out of bounds again, and putting it into play for Southview is number 3, James Roman, left halfback.
Saints do a nice job of directing the ball, using their head or whatever other body parts they can to move that ball from the outside to the inside.
Kings' Jason Amato kicked the ball away from a possible kick on goal. Here come the Saints again.
There we go. Yep, and that's it.
And it's a tie score. Southview's Mark Fazekas at 18:57 here in the first half. Ties the score at 1-1.
Very nice play, very nice. Turned the sweeper around and had a shot right on goal. And he does what most coaches try to teach him to do. He put it up in the upper corner. So often you see during the season kids come down and they go to kick it as hard as they can and end up kicking it right to the goalkeeper. But Coach Burgess will tell him that's just how he taught him.
I think what the fans here fail to realize is there's one person up there trying to do everything all by himself. Where in a football game you have one person doing the PA, one person running the clock, one person running the rest of the scoreboard.
I'm going to throw in here now for the Admirals.
Plus, I hear the radio playing up there. Someone listening to the Indians and the Mariners in the final game of their best-of-5 series. That might be a bit distracting. Out of bounds. And the Admirals will put it into play. Ben Gradisek will toss it in.
That's a name pretty familiar to you, isn't it, Ron?
Well, his grandfather was my optometrist when I discovered I needed glasses. And then his father and mother were both students of mine. Well, I'm sorry, his father and his aunt, Robert and Lois Gradisek, were students of mine back in the 60s at Admiral King High School. Now, his father, Bob Gradisek, is my optometrist, I'm happy to say.
Real nice people. Okay, we
off of Hannigan and out of bounds. Southview will put it into play. Tossed in by Southview's Cielo Crespo. Joe Kowalczyk now in the lineup for Southview. Put that ball into play moments ago. You know, it's very seldom, Neil, I notice in checking soccer scores in the newspaper and on television, very seldom do you have large scoring matches.
No, they're usually pretty low. A good match could end up 2-1, 3-2. Quite often they're low scoring. A lot of people don't like to watch them because they think they're boring, but there's a tremendous amount of action in a soccer game.
And I've seen some where when you're looking at a total of 80 minutes of action, 40 minutes per half, where the score wound up 1-0.
That's correct.
Well, we're down to 15 minutes and 40 seconds here in the first half at George Daniel Stadium, and a tie score, 1-1. A sectional match between the Admiral King Admirals and the Southview Saints. Looking at some of the other player profiles for Lorain Southview Saints, coached by Gene Burgess. Number 4 is a junior, Brian DeBrazen, a 3-year starter, center forward, a first-year captain, and the leading scorer and assist man with 15 goals and 5 assists. Coach Brazen says he has good foot skills and great speed up front. And we've seen him a couple of times trying to
For sure.
get that soccer ball into the net. Number 14 is a freshman, Andy Arredondo. This is his second game starting at right wing. He is replacing the injured David McCartney. He has strong lower body and good foot skills, according to Coach Burgess. He sees the field and he passes well.
Okay, we got a stoppage in play here. Player came up from behind. Going to issue a yellow card.
Now, one thing I'm familiar with is a yellow card and a red card. Please explain the difference.
The yellow card is for a foul, and the player has to leave the field. At the next stoppage of play, he can come back in. If they receive a second yellow card, then they also put up the red card, and the player will have to leave, cannot return to the game. A red card is an automatic ejection. And in high school, if you get a red card, you're out for a minimum of a week or 2 games. So for at this stage, if you get a red card, your season's over.
Kind of like in hockey, when you have a serious penalty on the ice, you're put into the penalty box for X amount of time. Here it is until the next
stoppage of play, in which the ball is either a throw-in or a goal kick or something. Here's a penalty kick, or not a penalty kick, but a free kick, and you can't sub on that. Now he's able to come back into the ball game because there's going to be a goal kick.
We were talking about my knowledge of Ben Gradisek's dad. We just mentioned Andy Arredondo. I also had the good fortune back in the 60s to have Andy's father, Joel, and his mother, Joyce, who at that time was Joyce Furlick, in one of my classes.
Shot
that one
high.
Sailed way over the goal. And again, that was Brian DeBrazen on the attempted goal. Number 13 for Southview is a junior, Eric Levis. His nickname is Little Giant. This is his second year as a starter center fullback. Coach Burgess says he's a hard-nosed individual, but with a big heart. He never quits. He's a key person in the center of the field, and he marks opponents.
There's a shot coming up, Ron. That could be a...
Whoa, off the legs of one of the Admirals and picked up again, but kicked far wide to the left. Going out, so King will put it into play. Number 15 for Southview is a senior. He is David Oswalt, a first-year varsity player. He plays all forward positions with good foot skills, and Coach Burgess says he has good shot on goal with the right or the left foot. Here come the Saints once again.
Once again, there we go.
Mark Fazekas, and it goes out of bounds as of this point.
Saints are putting the pressure on them at the moment.
Yeah, there's a tendency where the ball can stay at one end of the field for quite some time.
Nice center by Fossey.
Chris Shaw picks it up and kicks it out. Taking the ball down for the Admirals is Matt Vinsek.
They'll have a corner kick. Went off of the defender, so therefore they get a corner kick on that play. Yeah, it would make a big difference, Matt Vincic. He's got a lot of speed and excellent skills. He's played soccer for quite some time, and to have him out for most of your season with a broken foot was a major disappointment to the Admirals. Centered it in. Saints are going to have a good chance for a counter here. There we go. There's a nice cross. There's a shot on goal. It's deflection.
Just missing the left side of that goal.
Going to do a goal kick.
If I'm not mistaken, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that kick was again by Brian DeBrazen.
Yes, he's playing an excellent game. He's got some very good skills over there. That particular play there by the Admirals was a nice chest trap, which a skill a lot of kids have difficulty with, but they keep your hands out of the way and use your chest to drop the ball down to your feet. That ball was everywhere but in.
Mark Fazekas tried everything in his power to get it kicked in there for Southview.
Fossey and Vincic at one another there. That's a good play. I'd say our fans are into the ball game tonight, Ron.
I've been told so often that once you get into soccer, you're into it.
That's right. I know all my kids, we learned not to argue with Mom. She found out she knew more about the rules than any of us. Nice counter here by the Admirals.
Down on the far side for the Admirals, Rocky Ferrero bringing it down. And goalie Damian Aponte kicks it out.
I understand Damian's also a catcher on the Saints baseball team. I know when I watched him last year a couple of times, the way he crouches down to receive the ball, just like he was catching, does a wonderful job for him.
That's another sport we hope to be able to do on TV 20 this coming spring. Do some baseball and softball. Here come the Admirals, Matt Vincic. Kicked back out by Southview.
There's your sweeper in the action that we were talking about earlier, Ron. See how he's up here beyond the center of the field, collects the ball and sends it down. Vincic out to the outside, going to try a cross.
There. Whoa.
Went wide right. We'll have a goal kick.
Trying to catch that young man's number.
Looks like number 5
for the Admirals, and that's James Carter.
Yes.
And the 11th grader, a little upset with himself. Now here's a situation down there at the goal where the goalie is not going to kick the ball, so someone else can do it.
Oh yeah. They usually try and get the strongest foot to clear it out. Nice ball there.
And it comes out to the 37.
That's right. That's right. That was for about 5 yards into the end zone. So that was.
Looking at some of the other player profiles now for Southview. Number 11 is a sophomore. His name is Brett Meyer. He is a first-year varsity player, and he plays forward and midfield.
There's a nice punt out. Here's Brian's got the ball.
Here comes DeBrazen, but it's taken away from him momentarily there by Andrew Matos. Now it's Matos and Andy Arredondo scrapping for the ball.
Mato was tripped, so the Admirals will get a free kick.
Comes over to Carter. And it's going to go out of bounds. Number 12 for Southview is a young man who is a junior. His name is Joe Caruso. He was brought up from the JVs for this tournament. He's a team leader on the JV team, a member of the Southview Saints Marching Band, and also a member of Key Club. Now, just how physical can these players get with each other without getting into trouble, Neil?
Well, that pretty much depends on the guy in the middle.
Okay.
That's here's a nice shot.
Here comes Fazekas.
And, oh, nice save.
Wow.
That ball was rolling in until the defender came over and kicked it out.
And that defender was Ben Gratisek.
Yep.
Now, the fact that Gratisek was within that yellow stripe.
In the goal box,
in the goal box. He was not permitted to pick up that ball because he's not the goalie.
That's correct.
Okay.
They pick it up with their hands, there'll be what's known as a penalty kick, a free kick from the penalty mark, and one-on-one with the keeper. There's a deflection off the Admirals, off of, it's at number 9 there.
Matos kicking it off of Fazekas.
And went wide and hit the outside of the net. So many times you see a game where someone clears the ball and someone jumps up in the air and it ricochets off of them, and the next thing you know, they're on the attack.
And number 7, our last Southview Saints soccer player that we would like to highlight is Jorge Martinez. Number 7, brought up from the JVs also for this tournament. He plays defense and he can help if he is needed. And right now, with 3 minutes remaining in the first half, clock continuing to run, we have a tie score. Admiral King was first to score with 31:48 remaining on a kick by Rocky Ferrero. Southview tied it up with 18:57 remaining in the first half on a kick by Mark Fazekas. So that's where we stand right now. Coach Burgess for Southview, 15 years as head coach of the men's soccer team at Southview. His assistant, Coach Bogan, is a third-year assistant coach at Southview. The team record is 6 wins, 8 losses, 2 ties, a total of 42 goals scored for and 40 goals scored against
There's
Southview.
Brian breaking away
Here
again.
comes Brian all by himself, right down the middle. And it
Beautiful
is
save.
Wow, Prishaw coming right out and saves that shot. And also in the effort to get it back in there by Southview, Ben Gratisek tied up that Saints player. As soon as he turns around, we can
Get his
see
number
a
there, number 14.
Number 14, and that is Andy Arredondo.
And that went wide left there, and now we have a goal kick. That was a lot of excitement. Brian, I think, is going to break one here somewhere along the line. He just had so many opportunities. He's bound to get something for him.
You know, the amazing thing is I found myself getting excited.
Oh, it's easily done. There he goes again. There he goes again.
Here comes Brian DeBrazen. Now it's Andy Arredondo.
Yeah, now back to Brian. Admiral's cleared out. They're fun to watch, aren't they?
And putting it back into play for Southview, Eric Levis. goalie Chris Shaw grabs it. He'll kick it, put it into play. Off the head there of Admiral King's Gareth Hannigan.
Vincic.
That was a high one that came right down off the head of Hannigan. Neil, does that smart at all?
The colder it is outside, the more it hurts.
Okay.
But, normally, it doesn't hurt the kids a whole lot.
Is the soccer ball made of a material that would, facilitate that kind of action?
Yes, it's a leather, and they try to keep it so it's not too hard, somewhere between 14 to 16 ounces. You get a soccer ball that's right up there at the max, and a cold night, and you catch one in the chops, and that can hurt the face.
10 seconds. 8.
All right, we're winding down the closing seconds of this first half as the PA announcer is counting it down, and that's the end of the first half. Again, the score all tied up. Southview 1, Admiral King 1. And how much of a timeout do they have for halftime?
They have a 10-minute intermission.
10 minutes,
10
that's
minutes,
it.
that's it.
All right, then we'll be back shortly with the second half of soccer action here at George Daniel Stadium.
Every time an adult gives up on our kids, every time we surrender to the belief that their future is out of our hands, another child is left behind. I'm General Colin Powell, and I don't believe in giving up. That's why I'm asking you to join America's Promise. Log on to americaspromise.org or give us a call. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you can do something important. Pull your weight.
Since 1921, your hometown financial professionals at First Federal Savings of Lorain have dedicated themselves to meeting the financial needs of their customers and surrounding communities. They offer a wide variety of financial investments as well as home mortgages to meet your every need. Loans on boats, cars, mobile homes, and other worthwhile purchases are also available. Whatever your financial need, First Federal Savings of Lorain is ready to help. 7 convenient locations to serve you in Lorain, Huron, Sandusky, Port Clinton, and now at 36690 Detroit Road in Avon. First Federal Savings of Lorain is an equal housing lender and FDIC insured.
There's this guy, always in my face, shouting at me, just pushes me, but I love him. He's my coach. My coach.
Be a coach. Be a fan. Special Olympics.
There, this guy.
Your one-stop place for something really special is Impressions, corner of Oberlin Avenue and Tower Boulevard. T-shirts and sweatshirts personally designed to your specific needs. Anything from bears, trains to zebras, and specially designed hats as well. And don't forget Impressions, your one-stop spot for school jackets. See Dave, the designer expert at Impressions, Oberlin Avenue at Tower Boulevard, right here in Lorain.
They came from every corner of the country. From small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines. A tough and determined few, dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still they come. Celebrate the 225-year history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
Back here at George Daniel Stadium, and second half action ready to get underway here in the sectional match between the Admirals and the Southview Saints. You kind of pointed out to me a few weeks ago, Neil, when I first approached you about doing this soccer match with me, that one of the teams pulled the number 1 pill in the drawing, and the other team pulled number 2.
That's correct.
And they said, let's just do it.
That's right. It's always fun when the Admirals and the Saints match up. There's a nice try by Vincic.
Obviously, they could have played other teams in the opening
That's
round
correct.
of the sectional. Of course, not knowing if they'd have been able to win and continue, so they just figured, let's go at each other.
That's right. They have a bracket, and you pull number 1, and you go to the spot, and then whoever wants to play, you can jump up there and into that bracket. So makes a lot of sense. It's always nice when 2 Lorain teams get to play each other.
Well, if anything, one of the teams will advance.
That's correct.
We are all tied up here as the second half of this soccer match just getting underway. Admiral King scored first with 31:48 remaining in the first half on a kick on goal by Rocky Ferrero. And then Southview tied it up at 18:57 remaining in the first half on a kick by Mark Fazekas. We did some player profiles of the Southview Saints in the first half. Here we go.
Oh, nice.
And a save there by goalie Damian Aponte, who kicks it out. In this half, we'll be doing some player profiles of the Admirals. And the first one is the goalie, Chris Shaw, who wears 00 on his uniform. He is 6'3", weighs 230 pounds.
Oh, now we got a problem here. And that should end up, well, they're still in play. There's a shot, ricochets off the top of the football bar.
Chris Shaw will be graduating this coming June, and he hopes to get into computer repair. Started playing soccer when he was in the 3rd grade at the age of 8. So goalie Chris Shaw has been in this game of soccer for quite some time.
That's for sure. It was a nice.
Bringing the ball down for the Admirals is Rocky Ferrero. Kick back out again. Carter with it now. James Carter getting it over to Hina Rodriguez.
Clears that ball out.
Rodriguez over to Amato. Kick back out. Speaking of Amato, Jason Edward Amato, wearing number 4, is a midfield defender. He is the son of Ronald and Janet Amato. Weighs 118 pounds, wants to get into mechanical engineering when he graduates, which will not be until the year 2005. So he's going to be around playing a lot of soccer for Admiral King.
Substitution for the Saints.
Coming into the field of play now is number 2, Joe Kowalczyk. Jason Amato played in the City League for 5 years. Also played 4 years of indoor soccer. The Admirals' number 5 is James Carter, a forward midfieldman. The son of Kathleen Ham. He would like to get into education and child psychology when he graduates in 2003. So he's a junior. He'll be back playing some soccer again next year. School activities include student council, the Leo Club, Foreign Language Club, Camera Club. He's involved in the band and the chamber choir, so quite active in his school other than playing soccer. And that's Carter with the ball right now, kicks it out.
Back to Vincic, I believe.
Yes, Matt Vincic, number 10. Kicks it towards the goal and saved in there by Southview's Billy Seatak. Wow, that had to hurt. Ooh, my.
Right in the stomach. That does hurt.
A kick by Matt Vincic, and down on the field, I do believe, is James Roman. Now, the only protection these players wear is, as you indicated, just shin guards.
That's correct.
So, and that was a swift kick. And really, in this particular case, it's just a situation of Roman was in the wrong spot at the wrong moment.
Yeah, Vincent got all that ball, and Roman took it right to the stomach.
Now, this is a situation now where a athletic trainer would be of service and some help, I would assume.
Yeah, they didn't move him onto the field simply because they wanted to see if once he's attended to on the field, then he has to leave the field for a play. They were hoping he was going to be able to shake it off and get up and play, but that's not the case. There, now he's getting up. There we go.
All right, James Roman. Probably had the air knocked out real good.
I think so.
Amongst other things.
There we go with a free kick by Vincic. Nice play by
Southview goalie is way out of position, but he's got enough of his own teammates standing there. They can also protect the goal.
For sure. Yeah, Ponte did a nice job on that.
We were talking about James Carter to wrap up his particular profile. He was the most improved player for the school year 2000-2001, which was his sophomore season. James Carter. Our next Admiral King player is number 7, Rocky Ferrero, who scored the first Admiral King goal here in this sectional match this evening. He is a midfieldman, a forward, and a goalie, plays a lot of different positions for the Admirals and in the game of soccer. He would like to get into law enforcement. He is the son of Joy Knight and Michael Ferraro. Other activities at Admiral King include baseball. He is only a freshman, so he has a lot of time left to bring this Admiral King soccer team up where it should be, where it belongs.
Yeah, I think as we go through, you're going to see there, Ron, there's a lot of young kids playing soccer now for Admiral King, as well as quite a few there for Burgess. So we're going to see not only improved play, but a lot of good competition in the years ahead.
You know, I look at the roster for Admiral King, and there are only 3 seniors on the entire roster.
Right, and I think there's like 6 on Southview. So these young kids can play, and they're learning.
Our next player that we want to profile is number 8, Derek Smith. He is a forward and a sweeper. He is the son of John and Colleen Smith. He is currently a sophomore, will be graduating in the year 2004. His activities.
There is a handball outside of the box. So it'll be a free kick for the Admirals right out at about the It's 18 yards at that goal line, so he's putting it out at about 19 to 20 yards from the net.
Now, when you say a handball, you mean one of the players?
Yeah, one of the Southview players moved his hand up and hit the ball as it went by, which is handling of the ball, which is illegal. And the whistle blew, and they have a free kick.
Now, this is the kind of kick that I oftentimes see whenever I do watch soccer on television, and this is the first one that we're seeing here tonight of this type.
Yeah. The Saints set up a wall, they refer to that as, and they're going to try and block it. They can't move their hands, they can only try and block the ball. Nice save by Aponte.
And it went right to Aponte.
Yes.
Like you say, great save.
Went right around the end, and he was there for it. It was a beautiful kick and a beautiful save. Vincic took the kick and went wide. Ball was not out of play. He picked it up and threw it in. Therefore, it's another handling of the ball, and we'll have another free kick. This time it's going to be for the Saints.
Even though the action was way down at the other end of the field, it's going to be in front of the Saints goal this time.
No, they changed position at the half.
Okay.
Which,
all right.
So now the Saints are going to the south.
Yeah, the Saints are...
That's another one of those. Well, I guess they do that in football too, don't they?
Yeah. The Saints are defending the north goal, and the Admirals are now defending the south goal.
Oh, there's a dangerous play. There we go. Tried to clear the ball, ended up going into the...
And kicker, or goalie, Chris Shaw, kicks it out of bounds.
The first area where Chris is at, the little box that you referred to, is known as the goal box. It's 6 yards. And then the larger one on the outside we refer to as a penalty area, and it's 18 yards from the goal. Infractions that happen in there are usually what causes penalty kicks and things of that nature. Out in the main field, like here where you had them run into each other, is just a free kick.
And goalie Damian Aponte comes out, grabs it, kicks it back out. We were talking about Derek Smith. In addition to boys varsity soccer and the varsity letter winner his freshman year, he also wrestles. He's on the boys varsity wrestling team, and he lettered his freshman year in wrestling, and also participates in boys track and received a varsity letter his freshman year last year. So he is currently, as we said, a sophomore. He's involved in the Lorain City Soccer League since he was 4 years of age. He's the most valuable JV boys soccer player in the year 2000, and the best newcomer boys varsity soccer player also last season.
There's a lot of action down there now, Ron. With a couple of headers and a cross, and looks like sweeper cleared it out. They're smelling the goal down there, I think. There's a pull.
You know, it looks so easy, but it is so difficult.
Oh, it is. Quite often when kids are playing and you hear the parents yelling and the fans yelling, you're out on the field refereeing a game, you look at some of the kids and I say to them, you know, they always yell at you, but they couldn't do half of what you do, and they just laugh. It looks so easy, you're right.
I'd probably go out on a limb and say I couldn't do a tenth of what they're doing.
Yeah, look at that.
And it has nothing to do with my being an old man. A senior citizen, so to speak.
I'm not going to touch that one.
All right, let's take a look at Andy Matos. He wears number 9. He is a sweeper. He is the son of Joe Matos. Wants to go to college, but has no idea at this time what he would like to do. He is a sophomore this year, will be graduating in 2004. He carries a 3.5 GPA. He's been involved in soccer for quite some time.
There's Vincic, there's a long ball. The Saints recover, make a nice save. Number 10 there for the Saints.
And that is Billy Seatack.
That was a very nice play. He recovered very well. It's a game of speed when they send the long ball down there.
That's another thing I find so amazing is the fact that these young men, and in girls soccer, the young ladies running up and down this field, and really there's continuation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a constant thing. 40-minute halves with the clock stopped very seldom. In fact, right now we have 25 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the second half. As we've pointed out, the score is all tied up, 1-1. Southview trying to get the ball down there into the Admiral King goal, and that is Mark Fazekas.
Yeah, Farrell playing defense on him, did a nice job. There's a nice ball, he's offside. Okay, they let it play through.
Our next player profile for Admiral King is Matt Vincek, wears number 10. He is the son of Ronald and Kristen Vincek. He would like to get involved in journalism.
Oh, nice shot there. A little high.
A little high and a little off to the right.
So we'll do a goal kick. That was Vincek that you're talking about that laid that one up there. You can see he's got a very good foot.
Matt is a sophomore, will be graduating in 2004, has a 3-point GPA, so you can easily call him a scholar athlete, as was the case with Andy Matos when we were giving his profile. Matt has been selected to the second team All-Conference Great Lakes League and second team All-County. Gareth Hannigan, wearing number 11, is a center midfielder. He would like to go on and get involved in marketing. He is the son of Diane and Lyndon Hannigan. Here come the Saints. And a kick on goal and right into the arms of the goalkeeper, Chris Shaw. That was kicked by, I do believe,
that's Brian again.
Brian.
Right.
Brian DeBrazen. Brian with the ball now.
Brian's the type of young man, when you look at him, he just looks like a soccer player. He's got that real short hair, and he's just constantly on the go. There should be a corner kick for the Admirals.
Now, just out of curiosity, the ball came off the top of the head of the player out there, I do believe Walter Levenhagen. Had it just erroneously popped into that net.
That would have been a goal for the Admirals.
For Admiral King.
That's right.
Okay.
He directed it out of bounds, and they'll give him a corner kick. There's a punt. He made a nice play there.
Yeah, the goalie coming out and grabbing the ball, since he's the only one who can touch it with his hands on the field of play.
There's a push in the back, so Saints will get a free kick from about where are we at? The 45, I guess. It's kind of nice when you see the markings from up here.
Gareth Hannigan is the player we were profiling. Let's continue real quickly. Gareth played 6 years with the Lorain Shooters and 1 year with the Lorain Sharks for his soccer experience. He's been selected to the third team All-Conference, third team All-County, and Most Valuable Player Award. As we indicated during the first half, he also is the kicker for Coach Bill Jones' varsity football team. Hainer Rodriguez, number 14, is a stopper. He is living with the host family, Nelson and Eunice Ramirez. So Hainer Rodriguez is a foreign exchange student attending Southview High School. or Admiral King High School. He would like to get into computer programming. His school activities include the Lorain Rotary Club and Youth Student Exchange.
There we got some action now. Well, we got a couple of speedsters back there. Rocky really can move. Did you say he was a freshman?
Yes.
Boy, you got to invite me back in a couple of years to see him do this.
Wow!
Right across the face of the goal.
Problem being, there wasn't a Saint there to kick it in. Hainer Rodriguez Zumbedo. 3.5 years of soccer in Costa Rica, and playing soccer here for Admiral King for the first time this fall.
Looks like we'll have a corner kick now for the Saints.
He was the most valuable player, runner-up in 1999 in Costa Rica, the highest scorer in 1999 back in Costa Rica, and an all-star selection here at Admiral King. Number 16 for the Admirals is Andrew Zilka, a fullback. He is the son of Tom and Deborah Zilka. He's involved not only in soccer, but in the Admiral King Marching Band. He has a 3-point GPA and played soccer 5 years in the City League. Ben Gradisek wears number 17. He is the son of Bob and Diane Gradisek. Would like to get involved in aeronautical engineering.
And a throw in by the Saints.
Ben carries a 3.8 GPA, grade point average. He's in National Honor Society. He's involved in Student Council. Also plays tennis in the spring. He's in the ski club and the jazz band. He was the most improved player on the JV team his freshman year. And last fall was the most improved player on the varsity squad. This year he is a varsity captain, Ben Gradisek. I see here, Neil, where he'd like to become an aeronautical engineer. Does that mean Gradisek's
Boy, the rest of us are going to go blind if there's no Gradiseks around out there. Maybe we can talk his daughter Amanda into. She's a good friend of my daughter's, and
okay.
Yeah, she's at Ohio State. That's a nice play. The ball goes off of the Saints.
Off the noggin, which had the smart of Walter Levenhagen. Number 15 for the Admirals is Roy Penny. He's a defensive player. He'd like to become a veterinarian. Has a 3.8 GPA. He's on Student Council. He is the son of Evelyn Huff and Tommy Penny.
Last one.
Wearing number 2 for the Admirals. Right on the field there right now, David Basconi. He is a left or right midfieldman, wherever he is needed the most. He would like to get into marine biology when he graduates, currently a sophomore. Carries a 3.75 grade point average. Played soccer 4 years in the Lorain City League and 2 years at Admiral King, this being the second year.
We can't forget that he is the son of Perry and Bernie Basconi, who were sitting down here harassing us here a few minutes ago.
I was just going to say, son of Perry and Bernadette Basconi.
Bernadette, that's right. There's the Admirals coming in. Okay.
Number 3 is Brian Gaynor, Brian Gaynor. He is a midfieldman and forward, the son of Edward and Jennifer Gaynor. Played soccer 2 years with the Excalibur, 3 years with the Inter Premier, 1 year with the Lorain AASL, and also 2 years with the Amherst AASL, which stands for?
American Amateur Soccer League.
I was hoping you'd know that. Also 5 years for the Lorain Recreation Department, so you're another young man who's had a vast background in this game of soccer. Number 6 is David Ross, a midfieldman and fullback. The son of Catherine Ross, would like to get into graphic arts once he gets out of high school next year. He is a junior now with a 3-point grade average and is involved in Key Club. Also played 2 years of Lorain City Soccer. Number 12 is Luis Ramos, a forward. He is the son of Luis and Sylvia Ramos. Would like to get into computer engineering. Has a 3.3 grade point average. Plays soccer, basketball, and baseball. And this is Luis's first year playing soccer. "15 minutes, 10 seconds, clock is running, remaining in this soccer match. We're all tied up 1-1, like Neil pointed out. If it should end that way, we will have overtime. Now, is it overtime or sudden death?
It's overtime at the high school level, and if that the tie, then they go to a shootout. But they'll play 2 10 minutes. Oh, there's a nice, beautiful
off
play.
of somebody's head and into the net.
Number 11.
And that was put in by Gareth Hannigan.
Well, it was a beautiful ball right in there, just off the top of his head and over the goalie's. The keeper was coming right out for the ball. You can't teach it any better than that. That was excellent.
With 14:37 remaining in the second half, and here we are talking about what happens if this game ends in a tie, and Gareth Hannigan, at least for the time being, saw to it that it's no longer a tie. The Admirals take a lead 2-1.
I think the official's going to add some time back onto the clock.
Well, they're saying that it should be 14:43 on the clock. Now, the moment the goal is made, that's when the clock is supposed to stop.
Well, the referee in the center indicated when he blew his whistle, he crossed his arms. When he crosses his arms, it's an indication to who's running the clock to stop the clock.
Apparently, like was mentioned down on the field up to the press box here, it should be at 14:43. Right now the clock is at 14:30.
It's working its way up.
14:45.
Well, now they're saying 14:45. Okay, well,
there
we go.
Now he's got it. Mr. Del Coro's happy with that, and he'll resume play. A game like this, those 15 seconds can mean a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
15, 20 seconds.
And for the next 14 minutes and 30 seconds, the Admirals are going to have to play some defense if they want to pull this one out.
We had a bad throw in, so we're going to switch. Saints are going to do a throw in from the far side.
Checking the last few player profiles for Admiral King. Number 13 is a young man by the name of Chris Goforth. He is a left winger, the son of Bob Goforth and Donna Petruna, if I'm reading this handwriting correctly. Chris would like to get into graphic arts, sports medicine, manufacturing engineering, art design, architectural design. He has a lot of goals. Right now, he'd just like to see his team win this particular soccer match and then further himself some way.
There we go with the Saints.
again, Mark Fazekas down there for the Saints. Ball picked up by goalie Chris Shaw, and will kick it out.
Chris is getting a workout down there, Ron.
Chris's activities besides soccer at Admiral King, he's also involved in ski club. He's involved in indoor soccer and the art club. Number 15 for the Admirals is Brandon Corion, a right winger, defense player. He is the son of Carol.
There's another goal.
Oh!
Another goal for the Admirals. This time, number 11 again.
Number 11.
On the far side.
That is Gareth Hannigan, the Admirals' number 1 scorer in soccer. Not only does he demonstrate his expertise with the foot on Friday nights here at George Daniel Stadium and whenever the Admiral King varsity football team is away, but also here on this soccer field, he has certainly pointed that out with 12:35 now remaining in this soccer match. Again, Gareth Hannigan putting the Admirals on top by a score of 3-1. We were talking about Brandon Corion when that goal was made. Corion would like to get into computer technology. He has a 3.85 grade point average.
Here we go. There comes Brian.
And a save
and
by Chris
ricochet.
Shaw.
Oh.
And a kick back, but over the top of the goal by the Southview Saints.
They dodged a bullet on that one.
Our final Admiral King player that we would like to profile wears number 18. His name is Dennis Krasinski. He is a defensive player. He would like to get involved in sociology when he graduates this June 2002. He's involved in the chamber singers, in the band. He's in the jazz band, as well as soccer. He plays tennis. He's in the Leo Club and the Foreign Language Club. He has participated in soccer in the Lorain Youth Soccer League, the Shooters. He also participated in soccer in France in the year 2000. And he has played soccer here at Admiral King for the past 3 seasons.
Fossey's shot went up in between the uprights. Have to save that for Friday night. He's a nice young player, young Mr. Fossey.
I kind of get the impression, Neil, going through all of these player profiles, and we've done all of them from both teams, that these are all outstanding young men.
Yes, they are.
And the vast majority of them are scholar athletes, and that is so important today.
For sure. They learn quickly.
A tremendous amount of skill being exhibited out there.
Saints got to find that goal here and get back into this thing. There, 2 goals can be tough to score. You got about 10 minutes left in the ball game.
Shot made by James Roman, high and wide. We're at 9 minutes and 35 seconds now remaining in this contest. Off the head of the Admirals, Brian Gaynor, kind of stymied him a bit. And it's kicked out of bounds by the Admiral's Brandon Carrion. Out of bounds this time from off of one of the Saints, and the Admirals will put it into play.
Got a stoppage in play here. There's a nice shot. And he has yet another save.
That shot was by David Oswalt, one of the subs for the Southview Saints, now in the lineup. James Carter kicking it for the Admirals. Chasing after it on the far side, Rocky Ferrero. Long kick made by Andy Arredondo. Recovered by the Admirals' Mike Vincek. One out of bounds, Vincek puts it into play. And here comes Mark Fazekas.
Mark looking for a pass to Fossey.
James Carter taking it away. We're down to 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Clock continuing to run. Admirals leading, and one of the players
got a handball on the Admirals, so it'll be a free kick from about the 20 for the Saints. Mr. Fossey will be taking that.
And the kick a little wide, but grabbed by goalie Chris Shaw. And he'll kick it, put it into play. Down to 6 minutes now. 3-1, Admiral King on top in this sectional match. The winner will move on in sectional play. The loser will call it a season. Brandon Carrion will put the ball into play. Well, he decides he's not going to do that. Instead, coming in to the near side is Gareth Hannigan. And Garrett will throw it in. And it comes off the foot of one of the Southview Saints, that being Joe Kowalczyk.
And the Saints were offside on that.
What substitutes an offside?
The attacker was closer to the goal than two of the players for the Admirals. He before the ball was passed to him. In other words, he would be beyond where Vincek is now, number 10, when the ball was passed to him, which would be offside. There must be at least two players in front of him when the ball is passed to him. One of the more difficult things that people have difficulty understanding is the offside rule. It can be confusing.
I think that's where I was reading in the rule book you gave me, and at that point in time said, nah.
You probably got the passive and active offsides and said, forget it, yeah.
Well, I know one thing for sure. I will not walk away from this soccer match tonight an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I will have a greater appreciation for what these young men and the young ladies in girls soccer do each and every fall when they participate in this sport. And essentially, Neil, it's almost a year-round sport. In the wintertime, indoors.
That's correct.
And I see it taking place out of doors in the fall, in the spring, in the summertime.
Most of the leagues that in the area play a spring and fall schedule. High school is only in the fall, but a lot of the high school kids will play indoor soccer out in Leary or out at the rec center out in North Ridgeville. So a lot of these kids are playing the game year round.
We're down to 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
The Admirals appear to be in the driver's seat.
Kicking the ball away for the Admirals, Matt Vinsek. Putting into play James Carter.
It's Ben Gradisek, I think, is it not?
David
no,
Ross.
David Ross, okay.
Goes out of bounds. The Admirals will put it into play. Ben Gradisek, number 17, will throw it in. Here comes Mark Fazekas, but the ball taken away momentarily. And it's kicked out of bounds by Fazekas. Guarding him closely was Gareth Hannigan. Hannigan with the throw in off the head of Southview Saints, Walter Levenhagen.
Good job.
Oh, a nice sliding kick.
All just made it over the line, though, so they're going to do a throw in. Got a handball.
I noticed in that situation, Neil, Gareth Hannigan purposely kicked it out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
What is the strategy behind something like that?
He wants, with a 2-goal lead, he wants to get his defense set. He'll let him have the throw in. There was enough pressure coming from over here on this side that he had difficulty clearing the ball out, so he decided just to kick it out and go to the defensive side. There's an opportunity for Oswald. And he got it.
Got it.
David Oswald.
David Oswald with 52 seconds remaining in this contest.
David wants to bring the ball up, but no problem, David. The clock has stopped. You know, I have to tell you, David Oswald grew up right next to my parents there on 9th Street. Used to see him as a young kid playing out in the yard. So that was sweet. Nice play.
Clock continues now. We're under 50 seconds. And the Admirals now lead by just 1 goal, 3-2. And it goes out of bounds. The Admirals will put it into play on the far side.
Now they'll stop the clock. The Admirals are taking their good old time getting the ball, so the referee says, okay, you want to do that, we'll stop the clock. Time wasting.
And the referee has the right to do that.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
They're going to kick it out of bounds and send it along as much as they can just to kill time, which is a smart thing to do if you're ahead.
And that's exactly what happened there. It was kicked out of bounds by the Admiral's Jason Amato.
Let's see, now they'll go again.
Way out of bounds. That one may wind up on Oberlin Avenue somewhere.
Under 10.
Fortunately, they have more than one ball.
You need to shoot it now.
Here we go.
Nope.
And that's going to be it.
Ball game's over.
It's all over here at George Daniel Stadium. The Admirals winning by a score of 3-2. Neil and I will be back to wrap it up. right after this timeout.
Sleep, my love, and peace will send thee all through the night. Guardian angels will attend thee all through the night.
Well, the first soccer match that I ever sat through, and I have to say in all sincerity, I did enjoy that. But like I indicated, Neil, I'm not an expert. I may never be an expert, and that's why I'm so pleased that we had you here.
Well,
during the break, we were talking amongst ourselves. The fact that Southview won the first match when these two teams met 2-0, and then they played the second time, and it wound up in a 2-2 tie. And here tonight, for the sectional tournament, the Admirals defeating Southview by a score of 3-2. Is it a upset, a mild upset? How do you gauge this thing?
Well, I thought they were pretty well evenly matched. I think the two big keys with the Saints missing the McCartney boy with his injury, being an excellent player, but the return of Matt Vincic to the Admirals really makes a big difference because he controls the center of the field, he moves the ball well. They've got a lot of players to complement him as well, so it's not a one-man show, but there's definitely a difference when you have someone that knows how to distribute the ball to the wings and make your crosses and is not afraid to fire at the net. So I think that was the big difference in the ball game today. I thought the Saints had plenty of opportunities. They just couldn't get that ball to go in that 8-foot-high net there and bring it at the end. That was an excellent goal by David Oswald there at the end, but they just ran out of time, I think, is what really happened to them, and that ended up being the ball game.
Let's look at the scoring in the first half with 31 minutes and 48 seconds remaining. It was Rocky Ferraro putting the first point in the net for the Admirals. And then the Saints came by with 18:57 remaining in the first half to tie it up on a goal by Mark Fazekas. So the two teams went into their locker room routine, so to speak, tied up at 1-1. In the second half, at 14:43 remaining, it was Gareth Hannigan for the Admirals, breaking the tie, putting the Admirals ahead 2-1, and then with 12:35 remaining, almost 2 minutes and a handful of seconds after that, Gareth Hannigan again with a goal, and the Admirals led at this point 3-1. Then Southview with just 52 seconds remaining. David Oswald, one of the subs coming off the bench onto the field, picked up the goal for the Southview Saints, but not enough. Too little, too late. And the final score, Admiral King 3, Southview 2. The Admirals will continue on in Ohio High School Athletic Association sectional play. The Southview Saints will call it a season and prepare for the fall of 2002. What are the chances for the Admirals as they move along in the sectionals, Neil?
Well, they've got a good ball club. They moved the ball very well. I don't know who their next opponent's going to be, and that would be the real key. There's a lot of good competition in this area. I wasn't privy to what the brackets show, but I think they got an excellent shot. They'll go, whoever they play, they're going to give a good ball game. If they play like they did tonight, they'll do the city proud.
Well, our next encounter here at George Daniels Stadium will be this coming Friday, October 19th. Barry Buck and I will be here along with our cameraman Joe Bach, and we'll be bringing you the exciting varsity football action. The Southview Saints playing host to Painesville Harvey. For my partner tonight here in soccer, and again, a big salute to Neil for giving a lot of insight as to what this game is all about. Neil Summers and our producer and director and cameraman Joe Bach. Until next time, I'm Ron Bachelor. Good night, everyone.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.